All right, everyone, welcome to season 2 of the Ohio Bobcats Coaches Show with Jeff Boals. Coach, it's good to have you back.
Justin, thanks for having me. It's been a while and different times right now, but thanks for having me.
No doubt. So, talk about different times. The first question I have for you is just what every coach is going through, no matter what the sport is what is the challenge of trying to put a roster, a team together when you don't know who is going to be available day in and day out?
Yeah, I mean, if you go back like to July and what these young men have done on a daily basis, just to be able to do what they're doing has been remarkable. And it's we every day it's wash your hands, wear your mask, limit who you hang out with. We let our guys go home for Christmas break for 3 days, and we had a parent Zoom meeting to talk about just what could happen possibly about missing games if someone tests positive. And I think just a day to day, it changes all the time, and our guys have done a remarkable job, like I said before, up to this point. I need a better effort level and I need a better intensity level.
This is your second year with Ohio. What did you learn in that first year? Obviously, it was a year that ended unlike any other, but what did you learn in that year that you're going to use now in the second year or have been using?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is, growth process. We got better throughout the course of the year. We were playing our best basketball at the end of the year. And if you look at our team this year, we added, I think, 6 new guys this year as well, 7 new guys. So, we're still kind of feeling our way a little bit. We've had some injuries up to this point that have affected, games. We've had a couple games canceled, due to different situations. So, I think growth process, again, that mindset, getting better every day, getting better every game. And, that's kind of what we learned.
You mentioned some of the new guys, but a lot of the guys that you had last year are back for this year. What kind of luxury is it to have the guys that you had last year? And where have you seen the most improvement from the guys that have come back?
Yeah, normally, that freshman to sophomore jump, Ben Roderick, London McDay, Miles Brown, Noah Foster, you really, get better in the spring and the summer, after your freshman year. And unfortunately, those guys didn't have that luxury of doing all the individual workouts, getting in the weight room. Our guys were home for months by themselves. Some of them had no access to, gyms, basketballs, etc. And so we really missed out on that piece. But knowing, what we went through and how we do things, the experience of going through it was really big for those guys. And then we brought, a whole new group in, 4 freshmen to transfer, JUCO transfer. And those guys really didn't get the luxury of a full summer as well. So the fall was really big, trying to get everyone acclimated how we do things, defensive principles, skill work, etc. But when you have those guys who have been through it, like Ben Vanderplas, Jason Preston, Leonard McDay, Miles Brown, Nolan Foster, and Ben Roderick, they know what we expect, how we do things, so that helped from experience standpoint.
Family on 3 together on 6, 1, 2, 3.
Family
together.
What's the buy-in like from their standpoint? Because obviously they're 18, 19, 20-year-old kids, and they're not going to see a lot of their friends. A lot of people aren't on campus. They don't get to go home and see their families. Their family right now is the basketball team. What's that buy-in like when all you have to do and all you get to do is basketball and there's no fans to come to the games, all of that?
Yeah, that's a great point. It's a huge, maturity piece and self-discipline on their part to do what they're supposed to do. And, this isn't what college is. College isn't meant for social distancing, not seeing people. And, I'll give our guys and really everyone across the country credit, because these young men, they come to the gym for 3 hours and then they go back to the dorm for 21. We don't do team bonding stuff. We don't take them to movies, don't take them to dinners. The pregame meal is different. We haven't eaten a meal, together in months. And so I think the self-discipline and the maturity to be able to, do what they need to do just to be able to play and practice has been, awesome.
That was obviously there, especially at the beginning of the season. You guys started 4-1, almost a near upset win against Illinois. What do you need to do to get back to that consistency that you had? Obviously, you guys are coming off a win against NIU, 2-2 in the MAC. It's hard once you start conference play, but what's the key of getting back to consistency?
Yeah, if you look at that Illinois, I mean, it gave us a lot of confidence to know you can play with the top 10 team in the country, and probably should have won the game, but we didn't. And then we went through a 3-game stretch where we had 3 losses, and Ben Roderick was out for the Marshall game. The Akron game was kind of and hodgepodge thrown together. Our guys were supposed to be home for Christmas break on the 21st, and that game got thrown on us on the 22nd. And then the Bowling Green game, we competed, battled. Didn't have Jason Preston. So I think if you look at our last three games, we were 2-1, one at Ball State. Our defensive intensity and our ball pressure has really been the key to those last three games that weren't really there, against Akron and Marshall, that you need to be to win those type of games.
Let's get into some more specifics about how this season has gone so far. You guys lead the MAC in field goal percentage, and what stands out to me is that 5 guys on the team average double figures. What does that do for a team when you have more than just 1 or 2 options? There's not a guy that just scores 20. Jason and Ben can get you that, but you have guys that can give you consistently 10, 12, 14 a night.
Yeah, I think one thing we've been doing really, really well is sharing the basketball. Last night we had 28 field goals, 21 assists on those 28 field goals. So, the ball's not sticking, it's moving. And, when you have multiple guys like Ben Roderick, London McDay, Mark Sears, Ben Vanderplas, and then an anchor down low and Dwight Wilson, when they share the basketball, different things can happen. And Dwight's so good, he can score one-on-one if he gets double teamed. Last night he did the best job he's done passing the ball at the post. And Ben Roderick's playing at a high level right now. You got London McDay can slash, and Mark Sears has filled in. Like, I don't know how to explain it. The last 3 games when Jason's been out, for a true freshman to come in that situation, he's played awesome.
You mentioned missing Jason. What does it do for a team when the guy like that, one of your best players, is out and has been out for a few games, and he's kind of the heartbeat of that team in terms of where the team goes and how he leads it? Where do you expect from other guys when a guy like that is out?
Yeah, when you lose a piece like him, it's tough to replace. But I think, like I said, Mark Sears has done awesome, filling that role. He's not Jason, but we don't need him to be. And that first game back, the Bowling Green game, I think we led 32 minutes of the game. We just weren't able to close it out. But these guys have done a good job of stepping up. Ben Roderick, Dwight Wilson, they played a lot of games. So I think just sharing the basketball and different guys stepping up, making plays.
What's the key to closing games out a little bit stronger? Obviously, that didn't happen against Bowling Green, and then last night against NIU, they came back a little bit, maybe too close for your comfort with a 3-point game there at the end. What's the key there to finish games out strong and to make sure that you do something like you did against a Ball State team?
Yeah, and we're going to be in a lot of close games this year, and that's going to be important, understanding the value of a possession. And like you mentioned, the BG game, it's a tie game with 2:50 to go. We don't make the plays they do. They win the game. At Ball State, we answered every run that they had and closed that game out on the road, which was really good to see because we haven't been winning on the road. And then last night, we were up 6 with about 1:40 to go. And, they cut it to 2. So, just a matter of watching the film, understanding we're going to be in that situation, continue to practice those special situations, and not make the same mistakes, next time.
A stat that I always look at for a college basketball team is not just assist, but assist to turnover ratio. You guys are number 1 in the MAC in both of those categories. I'm sure for you, you care more about the turnovers and being number 1 and not committing those turnovers. Last year, that was a concern, especially at the beginning of the year. What do you think it says about the team that they've learned over time under you that every possession counts, especially in games that are going to be close? You're going to have a lot of close games this year.
Yeah, we really talk about the value of a possession, and when you're shooting close to 50%, you want to make sure you get shots because every 2 times you shoot, you're making 1 of them. And so if you take care of the basketball and not turn it over, your offense is going to be a lot better. And we've been scoring the ball at a really good clip. Our defense has to continue to evolve and get better, and that's how we're going to win more games.
You mentioned Dwight and Mark Sears. What are some other guys that are part of this team that maybe fans don't know because they have watched a little bit this year, but obviously this year's been a bit hectic and people will start to watch a little bit more as 2021 goes on?
Yeah, Mark's gave us a great shot in the arm with Jason being out, and Colin Granger's gave us some good minutes off the bench at the 5 spot. And we got to continue to develop those younger guys that haven't played a whole lot.
Did you expect this kind of performance from Dwight this early in his career there, or not early in his career, but the way he's filled in a role that he wasn't accustomed to last year?
Yeah, we knew he was definitely capable. I mean,
Right.
He averaged 9 points and 9 rebounds in 20 minutes at James Madison. But like you said, he, the role that we need him to be, a go-to guy playing extended minutes, this is all new to him, and he spends a lot of time, watching film, doing extra conditioning to put himself in this situation. And the more he plays, the more experience he gets, the different things he sees from different defenses, he's going to continue to get better and better. And it's good to know you have a guy in the block where you can throw it to, and something good's going to happen majority of the time.
Coach, just take me through what this has been like for you. We talked about the players and what it's been like for them, but for yourself, obviously this is a challenge in of itself, being in your second year and not having support system around that you're used to and not having that environment, which is Athens. I mean, Athens is all about the people. But what has this been like for you throughout this past, well, I guess almost, 9 months now?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely different. There's no manual for a pandemic, for anybody. And going through it as a coach, probably the frustrating thing was not knowing on a day-to-day basis. Sometimes things would change, like, immediately policies, practice times, games, etc. So, the ability to adapt, the ability to change, control what you can has been really big. Sometimes it gets frustrating because you don't know. And luckily, we've been, knock on wood, we've had no issues. Our guys have been here since July, and have been doing a great job of everything they need to. We use the E+R=O equation that Tim Kite uses at Focus 3. The event happens, what's your response going to be? And so I think our guys have really been, our culture, the response is everything to the event, and they've done a great job responding so far.
Just part of being at a basketball game where nobody is really there. What is that like? Take me through, because fans can't be there, I can't be there, really nobody can. What is that like being in that environment?
Yeah, it's surreal. If you look at the start of the Illinois game, nobody was there, and that probably was a big reason why we were able to do what we were able to do. I mean, normally there'd be 15,000 fans in there screaming at you, and I think the only game this year we have 300 fans here. We played out in Marshall. There was 1,500, and you get 1,500 people, and you're like, whoa, this is a lot different. And
Yeah.
you miss it. You miss the energy, the excitement, and it's tough. When you're at home, sometimes that momentum carries you. When you're on the road, it can affect you as well. But I definitely miss it. I don't know if it'll change this season, but it's definitely different.
Coach, I appreciate your time as always. That'll do it for the first episode of season 2 of the Ohio Bobcats Coaches Show. Thanks, Jeff.
All right, thanks, Justin.